from now on. You understand? Stay right here.
No, I know, but I can't see, man. He's blurry, dude.
I'm losing money on this deal.
It's worth every penny.
These gloves suck big orangutan dick and balls. We need to collect every pair of these and dump them in the Atlantic or the Pacific. It honestly doesn't matter as long as the fathoms number in the hundreds or more. These things have been an unfortunate staple of the sport for decades at this point and have become synonymous with it. But enough is enough. We need to bring it back to the drawing board. I'm tired of seeing fighters get blasted in the eyes by wandering digits. Accidental digit wandering or no. I want to clarify that no, I'm not a fighter. I'm not speaking from experience of having my eyeballs scraped. I don't know a single UFC fighter that has talked on this topic that has anything nice to say about these things.
Look like a Poirier eye poke at the end of the round now.
That's what it is.
UFC Seattle just wrapped up and was a certified banger of a card, which is impressive given the fact that it was slaughtered by pullouts and cancellations. Barely a dull moment. Nothing but finishes on the prelims with one on the main card. Every other fight leading up to the header being competitive and exciting. Then we get to the main event. Henry Cejudo was looking to get back in the title picture with a win over the ever-dangerous, lightning-quick striker in Song Yadong. He's had a bit of a rough go of it in recent years. After retiring in 2020 in hopes of some negotiating power over better pay from the UFC, the top brass basically said, suck it, and left him to dry out on the sidelines. It took 3 years for him to return to the fold in the title shot against Aljamain Sterling in early 2023. It was a razor close fight, but he lost by a split decision. He'd be gone for another year, coming back in early 2024 to take on the genetically enhanced cyborg and Merab Dvalishvili. This one was not close. He got crushed. Merab picked him up like a bag of marbles and threw him on the ground in front of Mark Zuckerberg. Yeesh. This is pretty rough. I mean, Merab is on quite the tear right now, but he got shat on. He actually left his gloves in the cage, signaling a second retirement. As you said beforehand, he would do that if he lost. But he didn't get a farewell Octagon interview or any fanfare whatsoever, so it clearly didn't sit well with him. He would soon announce later that he wasn't quite done yet. So another year passes, and here we are, headlining a fight night. This is it. This is the last-ditch effort right here. Let's be real. If Cejudo isn't title-worthy anymore, then he should probably hang him up for real. Despite his accolades, he's just not popular enough or a big enough star to go for money fights that people would actually pay to see. And I don't think he wants to be a stepping stone for the violent up-and-coming killers. This is the final test right here. The two had a pretty solid scrap of the first 3 rounds, but it was clear Song Yadong was just a bit too fast for him and seemed to have the power edge too. Cejudo wasn't really doing bad though, and actually managed to find his timing on the left straight as the fight went on, but it wasn't really enough to bag rounds. The takedown threat wasn't really there. Yadong was primed like a cobra to stuff them. So it was all striking, and Yadong was just getting the better of him. But it was still competitive, so it would be interesting to see how it would play out in the next couple rounds.
That's what you think.
Oh, sorry, oops. Never mind. The fight was ended early because Cejudo caught one of the most brutal eye pokes I've seen in a while. Yadong was practically poking him in the brain. Cejudo took the full 5 minutes to recover and then got stomped at the end of round 3. He said he couldn't continue because he literally couldn't see properly out of that eye, so the fight was called off. But since it went 3 full rounds, it would go to the scorecards rather than a DQ loss for Yadong. So they went to sad scorecards, and Yadong wins by unanimous decision. I mean, yeah, he was definitely winning, but what a wet fart of an ending to an otherwise fun fight. They said they'll run it back, and good. If Cejudo retired again and then wanted to come back, I think Dana White would spontaneously combust. Still, fucking bummer, man. So yeah, main event completely ruined by these stupid ass gloves. I don't get it, man. How many times do we need to see someone be compromised by catching fingernails in their corneas before we change the design of these fucking stupid gloves? And I'm talking massive overhaul, not whatever the hell they tried last year. Most of you know, but the new smaller 3-ounce gloves they rolled out June of last year were quietly thrown in the dumpster out back around the time of the Jones versus Miocic card. Jones tried them on and said, no, these things are shit. And Dana was like, okay, fine, all right. So went back to the old ones for that card. It wasn't clear if it was just for Jones the one time or if it would be a norm going forward. But given the bad track record these gloves had at the time, it's obvious looking back, they weren't gonna last long. They did nothing to stop eye pokes or even the lacerations from exposed stitching and somehow made knockouts less frequent. Like, huh? I don't know what the science is on that. Maybe they felt awkward on the fighter's hands and so they still what? Whether it makes sense or not, it felt like these things were cursed. So yeah, out with the new, in with the old. What's annoying is there have been better gloves in the past, not just in training, but in other organizations. Everyone's always raving about the Pride gloves back in the day being the best.
Now, the reason why these gloves trump all of them is because it comes with laces. You slide your hand in it, right? And these are the old version of the Pride gloves. And Ryzen has pretty much the same engineered glove. Only difference between the Ryzen glove and this glove is one, they have a sleeve for your thumb to go in, and the color of the glove is green. So I told Michael, don't get one of those because I pretty much have that glove. Okay, it slides on. It lays on my hand like a lay of a pillow, essentially.
And then behind the scenes, you get things like Trevor Whitman's gloves that the likes of Justin Gaethje and Kamaru Usman work out with.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's curved right away.
Yeah, curved right away. And then when you...
That's way better. Yeah, like the old Pride gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good padding, too.
So it's...
I like them a lot. These are definitely better than the ones UFC's using right now, I'll tell you that.
When I gather, both of these examples just fit around the hand more comfortably and actually encourage closed fists while not hampering the grappling. Yes, you can grab a real good single with these UFC gloves, but you have basically nothing preventing you from sticking out your fingers like javelins. What's especially silly to me is when referees tell fighters to stick their fingers pointing at the ceiling. Huh? Why not tell them to curl their fingers in? Who the hell strikes like this? Anyways, tangent aside, if the UFC isn't gonna hit up Trevor Whitman and be like, hey yo, we will pay you an assload of money for the right to use these things, then can they come up with something on their own? No more eye pokes, please. No more. It's ruined way too many fights. People have soured on Chris Weidman in recent times because of his infamous 1-2 eye poke TKO over Bruno Silva last year. I know Weidman handled it very strangely, basically calling Silva a crybaby for falling on the floor after having both eyes raked, but still, he didn't mean to do that. The gloves should be designed in such a way that sticking your fingers straight out should be incredibly uncomfortable. It shouldn't happen. This shouldn't happen. No more. New gloves, please. I don't know. I'm no expert. I'm just an asshole on the internet, but let's hope they can make some changes because I'm tired of this, bro. That was a good fight. Ruined for no reason.